Welcome to another edition of Can I Beat the Pole Lap Retro Edition, and we go back to 2016 for Daniel Ricciardo's pole lap around here, which of course was pretty insane at the time. A 1 minute 13.622 is the time to beat, and of course the race fell apart. We all know exactly what happened on the strategy. Red Bull got it wrong, and then of course Daniel got redemption a couple of years later in 2018. Now, straight away, these cars have very little downfalls compared to the modern beasts. However, these are a bit lighter, so they'll be a bit more nimble, but generally I can feel there's not a ton of grip, so we're going to have to really work on the setup and get this car dialed in. I think this first lap could be a proper stinker, but we'll see. Either way, let's try and get some temperature in the front tyres to get the front end to work. The rears are now up to temperature, so hopefully they will cooperate. Now, one thing to note is the swimming pool chicane. We have the older, slower version, so that's going to make the lap times, of course, slower than what we currently have them around Monaco, but matching up with the real life layout at the time. So let's get into it. Let's begin our first lap of the day. DRS open as we crank up the MG UK into turn 1. Third gear for now. Tyres definitely up to temperature now, working a bit better. Still not fully there, but enough to give us some performance. Actually, better performance than I expected. So this first lap won't be a complete waste of time. Into Mirabeau. Front right, of course, gets off the ground, so it stops spinning. Into the Lowe's hairpin. Just having to be patient there. Let the car just roll through here as we head into 48. A little bit wide of the apex there. Just got a bit of understeer. Now through the tunnel. Take a breather as we prepare the Nouvelle chicane. Second gear. Clank over the curbs. Back end fighting on exit. Now into the back we go. We'll leave it in fourth. Swimming pool. Left, right. And now into the second part of the chicane. We get that horribly wrong muscle memory kicking in there from the modern version where you carry so much more speed. So what was a decent lap has really fallen apart at the end in the final sector. So let's see. First lap of the day. Cross the line. 118.8. Not as bad as I thought, actually, considering how bad the end of the lap was, but the first part wasn't terrible. Let's get some faster tyres on, let's put some wing on the car, crank up the engine mode, and hopefully put things right. So, starting off with tyres, of course, we now have the super softs on the car, so that should give us some performance. We also have quite a bit more wing on the front and the rear end of the car. We've halved the fuel, and we're going to run a bit more engine mode. So let's see if that results in a decent lap time gain. Underway then, down towards Saint-Devote. Try and get that inside curb. Watch out on the exit. Quite bumpy. Car wants to bottom out as we head up through into Massenet. A little bit wide on the entry. We'll try and pull it back for Casino. Purple mini sectors. And a purple sector 1. Car tucks in beautifully there into Mirabeau, front end working well. Same goes for the Lowe's hairpin. The car responding nicely in the low speed. We ran extremely wide here last time, so we go in nice and early at Portier. Still understeer, but we just go in early and the front grips up. Now then into the Nouvelle chicane. Let's brake a little bit more aggressively here and a bit more early as well, just to get the car straightened up a bit better for the exit. And now let's try and clean up the final part of the lap, beginning with Tabac. We bump the wall there into the swimming pool chicane. Part 2. Having to really scrub off speed there. I forget how much slower that chicane was. Rascasse also much tidier, getting our apexes hit. And now the last corner exit, DRS open to the line. It's going to be an improvement. So 116.7, so we go just over 2 seconds quicker. I expected more, but we still have more toys to kind of throw out and try and get quicker. So let's get into it and let's try and find some more lap time. Now then, attempt 3, things are getting serious. Ultra Softs on the car, the quickest compound available. Also half the fuel again, and just generally a bit more wing, and we're going to run hot lap mode on the MG UK. So this should give us a pretty clear picture of what we're looking at pace wise here. So let's get into it. Also made some adjustments to ride height, roll bars. Turn 1, let's try and get over that curb. Leave a little bit of throttle on for the exit as we fly up the hill into Massenet. Try and get a bit tighter through here. But we completely missed the turning point for Casino. Still though, it's a purple sector 1 as we find lap time. We hug that wall through Mirabeau beautifully into the Lowe's hairpin braking a bit later. That worked well. And now just getting through the Portier bridge. A little bit wide there, didn't get the turning point, and we lose the back end on exit. Bit of oversteer, that might hurt us to be fair. Nouvelle chicane. Throwing the car in. There's a lot more margin to the barrier. I forget, like, you know, these cars are so much narrower than the current machines that we can actually get a lot closer. Right into the second part swimming pool. That's a lot better. But the exit is just not there, and it just snaps out of my hands. What a scruffy lap this has been. Will we even improve? There's more time in it. Dare I say I might actually go again. 17.2. Oof. Nah, not happy with that. Right, I want to try and clean that lap up a little bit and do better. So, let's see. Away we go. Come on. Last corner. Anthony Noves. DRS open. Over the line. 16.5. Oof. Wowza. That is not what I had in mind. Right, we're going to play our trump card. Also made a few more adjustments. This kind of has to be it. We need to find some time. We can go quicker. It's been a scruffy couple of laps so far. That was a good turn 1 exit. Not great, but we gained a lot on the apex mid-corner through Massenet. Still getting a lot of understeer and wash through there, but Casino was good and tidy. Mirabeau, nice, carrying good speed in there. Lowe's, first bad corner of the lap as we miss our apex. This has been a decent lap though. Still more time in it. Come on, let's try and get Nouvelle hooked up. There we go, that's a bit better. A bit more aggressive, pushing the barriers to back. We're going 5th this time. Send the car in, lay off the barrier to not unsettle the car. And now through the second part of the swimming pool. That sausage curb really makes the car feel unsettled. But this has been a great lap. Really good lap. 1 corner to go. Just bring it home so we can get an idea of what our pace is. Exit not ideal. Up to the line we go. 15.2. Well then, that's about 1.6 seconds away. Now, silly me, big rookie mistake. It turns out the layout is wrong. 2016 was the first year where we had the modified and faster swimming pool chicane part 2. So I've switched layouts and now we're running the accurate version, which should give us a bit more lap time. Will it give us that entire lap time we were missing? I'm not sure. I've loaded up the exact same setup, so let's try and hit a better lap. Now to back, 5th gear, brush the wall on the way through, and now into swimming pool part 2, which was extremely slow on the other version, so it will gain us some time. We locked the rears, actually make it work quite nicely through Le Rascasse, so 113.6 to beat. Our first lap here is a 114.6. Right, it could be game on. It could be game on. I'm going to make some adjustments with the layout in mind, and we'll try one more time. But pretty much now I'd say the next lap you see will be my final attempt, because we're kind of there now on setup. There's no more fuel I can take out. So let's give it everything and let's try and beat the lap. That might be it. That was a really good lap. Really good lap. The minute I stop talking, I can just focus, and I don't know where I'd find time on that. That felt pretty good. Maybe swimming pool a little bit, but I think that could be it, to be honest. 2/10. So let's talk about the setup of the car as we finished 2/10 off. So actually quite an accurate episode in terms of lap time. I just don't know where I'm going to find 2/10 really. Maybe turn 1, I watched it back, turn 1 exit, but I feel like I'm always going to struggle there because there's a bit of a bump and a drop on the exit. Either way, ultra soft tyres on the car with 17 psi all round. Fuel 5 litres, enough for out lap, time lap, in lap and the sample. Electronics, hot lap, 20% MGUK recovery and motor on MGUH. Maximum engine braking. Aero, max front and matched up the rear, so 1-to-1. Alignment, I moved the camber and the toe to the left. Front and rear, more aggressive, more negative. Dampers, default. Brake bias on 50. I've reduced the braking power a bit to try and reduce lockups. And then heave dampers, default suspensions. I messed around with this. Brought the roll bar down on the front to make it a bit softer and have a bit more mid-turn grip. I upped the wheel rates to get a bit more sharpness on the front end. I also reduced the ride heights. Same story for the rear. And then everything else is default. But there we go, guys. That is it for today's episode of Can I Beat the Pole Lap Retro Edition, and the final one in the Daniel Ricciardo mini tribute. We've done all 3 of his pole laps in Formula 1. I'll leave them all linked at the end of the video, so you'll see the other 2 from 2018 on there, so go check those out. But yeah, guys, cheers for watching. I'll leave the mods down below linked to go check those out for the car and the track. Apologies for the hiccup in terms of getting the layout wrong. I can't believe I missed that, but yeah, that's on me. Anyway, like, sub, try and smash over 1,000 likes. Links to the mods down below. On screen now, channel members, big shout out to you lot. Also on screen now, you're going to have the other 2 episodes from the Ricciardo section. And yeah guys, cheers for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.